All right, and we're back for a riveting video number 2 on reporting. I know you're excited. I know you're pumped for reporting. I promise, bear with me through the fundamentals. These are so important. I know you're excited for the advanced strategies and the case studies and all that good stuff, and that's coming, but you really need to understand fundamentals before you get into that stuff. Otherwise, you're really going to lose your shirt. You're going to lose a lot of money. I've seen it happen time and time again. People that don't know the fundamentals and jump right to the advanced strategies get burned. So in the previous video, I showed you account overview. I gave you an intro into reporting, and now in this video, I'm going to show you the actual reports that I custom set up inside Facebook, how to do that, and then I'm also going to show you the breakdowns that I look at for my ads and my ad sets. So what you'll see here is this is the campaign overview. So this is showing me all the campaigns that I've run throughout the course of my lifetime with this ad account. I can again change this to different time frames. I can also add filters. So if you only want to see ads that are actually running right now, I can click active. If I want to show ads that are scheduled, pending review, I can break those down easily. If I only want to show ads that have conversion-based objectives, I click conversions. So I can really refine this list to just focus on which ads were actually just focus on driving valuable conversions versus website clicks, etc. So that's a filter that I can use. Again, we're at the campaign level. When I drop into the ad set level by clicking on any of these, so let me just, we'll take this social media swipe file lead magnet. I now see a retargeting audience. This is a retargeting campaign that we ran about a year ago. And then through there, I can click in and I can see the actual ad that was run inside that. So those are the 3 levels there that I see. If I want to edit something, come over here to this little pencil icon. This is the ad set that I can actually look at. And then I actually have the individual ad that I can look at. Let me just clear this filter real quick. Get rid of this, get rid of this. And now let's take a look at some of the breakdown information in the custom columns, custom reporting. So what you'll see here is Facebook gives you everything up to offline conversions is default Facebook reports. So they've come up with the right metrics to look at based on your objectives. So if you're running a video view campaign, this video engagement column, this video engagement report is going to give you metrics specific to that. So you're going to see impressions, number of 3-second views, cost per 3-second view, 10 seconds, so on and so forth. Number of video plays, auto plays, all those relevant information for there. If you're running a app install campaign, the app engagement one's great. If you're running just a website click, the performance and clicks campaign is a really popular one because it's going to show you number of clicks, click-through rate, CPC, impressions, people talking about the page, amount spent, cost per event, all that good stuff. So performance and clicks is kind of an important. I wouldn't say it's important, but it's also the more popular report to look at. And that's great for most campaigns if you're running just website clicks, brand awareness, campaigns that are about driving people to a website. But what if you want to measure your actual sales? If I'm running website conversion campaigns, I want to know what am I driving revenue-wise and how much is it costing me for each one of these campaigns. And so that's why for every ad account that I have, before I do anything, create this report. And it's called ROI. You can call it whatever you want. But the ROI report adds 4 key columns. And let me scroll these out so you can actually get a look at them. All right. So we have website purchase conversion value. We have number of website purchases. We have cost per purchase. And then we have our return on ad spend. If this ever scrolls out for me. All right. So we have these 4 columns now. And so what this is telling me, the first one, all this is using my pixel data to show this data to me. It's showing out of these campaigns, this campaign was responsible for $1,504 in revenue. So the ads in this campaign drove this revenue. Through 12 unique purchases, this is how much it costs per purchase. So I paid $3.76 for that each purchase. And then I had a 33.35x return on ad spend. So for every dollar that I spent on this campaign, I generated $33 back. And again, this is a retargeting campaign, so that's kind of expected. This is a very, very tight niche, and it's a high authority website. So the return on ad spend on a lot of these campaigns is very, very high compared to a lot of other ad accounts that we have. So now let's hop into actually one of these campaigns. And before we do that, I'll show you, you can easily filter by any of these. So if I want to see which campaign had the highest purchase conversion value total, I can click up here, and now it's going to show me, okay, the social media Facebook lead gen campaign drove $7,800, 51 unique purchases, $34 per purchase, and about 4.5x return on ad spend. So let's hop in here and we'll take a look at some things. Okay, so this is clearly a retargeting campaign that was retargeting 7-day visitors and people that read specific blog posts. And so while I'm in here, I still have that ROI, just change it to custom if I modify anything, but I still have the same metrics up, so I can still see which of these ad sets now drove the website purchase conversion value. I can see which drove the most purchases, what was the cost per purchase, and then what was the return on ad spend for each. So I clearly see that the 7-day visits retarget exponentially outperformed the blog retarget down here. And so let's go into this one because I want to see, out of this specifically, what was the breakdown and everything. So now I'm in here. This is the actual ad that we ran for this this ad set. And now going back and things, this was a year ago and kind of a rush job. Clearly should have run. I would have run 6 to 9 different variations of this ad. So just running one ad, we got very lucky at the fact that it happened to do so well. But clearly would have run a lot more audiences, a lot more ads. Kind of grading myself now a year later. Although this ad did perform really, really well. So this is the ad we ran. We gave away a social media swipe file. And it happened to then have this email sequence and follow-up sequence that drove them to some high-priced e-commerce products, some digital e-commerce products, info products. So from here, I'm looking at the ROI report. This is great. It tells me this campaign did well, the ad set did well, the ad did well. But what I really want to know is what segments did well within this campaign. So now I can click breakdown, and within breakdown, I can see all these different segments that I can break down by. So I have age, gender, I have country, region, which is states. I have the platform they're on, the device they're on, the placement, whether it's newsfeed, mobile, desktop, right column, instant articles, audience network, Instagram. So let's start with just age. Okay. So now within age, and I'm going to tack this, so I'm going to see the highest return on ad spend. So what I'm seeing is, okay, 25 to 34 and 18 to 24 are the two best performing demos. So 18 to 34 is the age range that had the highest return on ad spend, the most profitable age ranges. Now let me see gender. So again, huge gap. So men. So I'm seeing an 11x return on ad spend for men, a 2.35 for women. So now I know, 18 to 34 men, probably my best demo to go after going forward. Now let's look at things like region. So now I'm seeing actual states in here, and I'm able to see which states inside the United States had the highest return on ad spend. So I'm seeing Florida had almost a 60x return on ad spend. And again, the important thing is I'm showing this for demonstration purposes. You also want to make sure you're not jumping the gun and extrapolating an analysis from too small of a source size on the data side. You want to make sure you have enough data and enough tests before you come to conclusions, because you need to have statistically significant conclusions, which means you need enough data to say that this is representative of the whole pie before I go and make a decision. So typically what we don't want to do is have one ad set that has 5 sales and then say, well, all 5 sales came from men between 25 and 34, so that's my best demo. That source is just too small. You're going to probably make mistakes by assuming that. So typically, once you get into the hundreds, ideally in the thousands of conversion events, that's when you can start to make some decisions. But before that, you want to be careful about making decisions too soon. It's always fine to test these things, but you don't want to go all in with any of these theories. So we have region, which is important. Another one that I really like to look at is placement, right? So because this was a lead gen ad, it just ran on mobile and desktop newsfeed. So I'm able to see out of those 2 placements, mobile newsfeed drove all the sales. So an 8.22x return on ad spend. Desktop drove 0 sales. Typically with most ads, I'm going to see all the placement options. So I'm going to see audience network. I'm going to see right column. I'm going to see Instagram. I'm going to see instant articles. I'm going to see suggested video and everything in between. So this is really, really effective for me to understand which placements are performing best, because that's a key part of my ad set creation, is deciding what placement to use. Then we also have platform, and we have platform and device. So platform and device is going to show me now not only where did the ad run, so Instagram, Facebook, it's also going to show me what device it ran on. So iPhone, iPad, Android, iPod. And so what I'm saying here is, okay, Facebook, iPhone, 19.33x. So now I can run my ad just to iPhones. And even further than that, I can figure out what operating system was running on. And from that, I can then make another filter, another layer on the targeting. And say I want this just running to iPhones with an operating system above 5.0 or 6.0. So this ad isn't going to show me all of that because it was a lead ad, so it's only showing on specific platforms and placement options, so it's not going to give me the full spectrum. But again, this is super valuable information. It's readily available, it's easy to access, and this helps me learn a lot about my best customer, and will help me further target and segment my prospects, my cold audience, to make it more effective and lower my cost per acquisition cost, increase my results per dollar I spend. I can also view by time in here. I can view by action type. So there's a lot of great breakdowns inside reports. So the last thing I'm going to show you within reports is something that a lot of people don't do this, and they should for a number of reasons. So when I click customize columns, and again, this is the place where I can actually add more columns. So if I'm going to create my own custom report, I can come in here and I can view all the metrics that Facebook tracks. So everything from cost per post comment, to number of page likes an a campaign drove, to post engagement, to check-ins, to video views, canvas view, everything you can think of that Facebook tracks, I can view it in here. And if I want to add it to this report, to this view, I simply check it and click apply. So this is great just to go through here and get familiar with all the metrics that Facebook tracks. And you can easily break it down by performance metrics, engagement metrics, conversion metrics. So this is all the Facebook pixel conversion metrics. Now what you see down here is the attribution window. And so what this is basically saying is, Facebook, the pixel, only tracks and reports and stores data for specific time windows. And so after 28 days, the attribution back to your ad is pretty much non-existent. You have these third-party tools. So you could be running really effective ads that just have a very long purchase decision time that could be generating sales 30, 60, 90 days down the road, and you're not going to get it. You're not going to be able to show that here unless you use offline conversions, advanced stuff we can talk about later. But what you can do is make sure you're tracking all the different view and click windows, because Facebook just has a default to 1-day view, 28-day click. So basically what's happening is the default view doesn't take into account these windows. And so if somebody views your ad and then buys your product 7 days later, Facebook is not reporting that in your purchase conversion value for your reports, at least the ones you see out of the box. So typically what we like to do every now and then is come in here and check all of these. So that way we can understand which time windows are generating the most sales. And we understand our sales cycle, because part of your targeting and your ad set creation is actually defining your conversion window, whether it's 1 day or 7 day. And Facebook's going to use you're telling them that time frame to optimize the ad. So if really your ad, if your ideal, your kind of prototypical customer takes 6 days to make a buying decision, and you say 1 day, it could have some negative impact on your targeting optimization, and vice versa. If it takes 1 day and you say 7 days, that could have an impact as well. So we have to come in here and understand during these time windows, are there any, are there sales happening 28 days after the click a lot more than 1 day? And same as there are a lot of sales coming 7 days after the ad view versus 1 day. And so coming in here and clicking all of those attribution windows allows you to get that view, that high level view. So what I see here is this is showing me website purchases on the view attribution. So what this is showing me is that within 1 day, there were 2 purchases of people who viewed the ad and within 1 day bought the product. Here's what's interesting is that there was actually 9 total purchases within 28 days of a view. So basically, without without kind of customizing support and opening up the attribution windows, we wouldn't have accounted for 7 purchases. So there are 7 additional purchases that weren't automatically pulled in because they happened after the 1-day ad view. And so this is important. Obviously, looking at this is a small sample size, so you might say, hey, 7 purchases is not a big deal. But imagine scaling this up, and basically this is a 5x increase. So there's 5 times more purchases happening in 28 days and under than 1 day. So imagine if you have 1,000 purchases, that's 4,000 purchases you're not accounting for. So the numbers can really add up. And so going in here to understanding where the purchases come from and the time frame is really important. Here again, now we're looking at the click attribution. So only 1 person bought within 1 day of click. 47 bought within 28 days. So that means 46 people bought after the first day of clicking the ad. And this makes sense because this is a lead gen ad. We had a lot of follow-up sequences. So this isn't necessarily a direct response purchase conversion ad. But it's still important to know these numbers because you could be you'd be using some bad data essentially, that your reports with out of the box reports could be very misleading if you're not looking at all the attribution windows. So that's kind of a pro tip to make sure you do, so you're actually looking at the right numbers and you're working off the right numbers, especially if you're running a lot of lead gen campaigns, page post engagement campaigns, website click campaigns, any campaign where the goal is not purchase. You want to follow up on those campaigns after 28 days because some of those campaigns could be responsible for sales. And you just don't know it because you're only looking at a small time frame and you're only checking them after a day or two and you're not giving them the full 28 days. So it's always important to go back and look at these campaigns that weren't optimized for direct purchases, because I'm telling you from personal experience that there's been ads I've run, whether they're page post engagement ads, website click ads, ads to Messenger, that I turned off too early because they weren't driving any sales after a week or 2 of running them, only to go back like a month or 2 later and see that all of a sudden, day 25, 26, 27, a lot of sales came in. And so I made a big mistake there. So hopefully my mistake is your blessing and you guys can learn from that. But again, this is kind of a tutorial on reporting. I hope this helps you guys analyze your data a lot more effectively, measure your data a lot more effectively, and make more effective Facebook campaigns.